What is going on, drawittoo crew? Ramny here with a brand new vlog video for you guys, and this is the second video of my Marvel Legends collection. As I mentioned in the first one, which if you guys have not seen, make sure you click on the corner, the eye in the corner there, and you guys can see the first one in which I talked about the MCU action figures that I have. This is the second, and I'm going to be doing this one right here. And I guess the reason why I'm doing this is because we are moving, and I want like a video of my collection, so I have like a visual when we do move to a new location. And I'm taking these with me, yeah, so that I can remember what I had on my display, you know what I mean? So anyway, so that's that, you guys. If you guys are brand new here, my name is Ramny, and I do drawing tutorials on my main channel, which you guys can check out in the description of this video. I do drawing tutorials for like comic book characters, movie characters, and like cartoons, video games, that kind of thing. So make sure if you guys like drawing, go check that out. And if you guys have not subscribed to this one, make sure you subscribe too. So anyway, having said all of that, you guys, let's head on over to this shelf right here, and let's take a look at those figures. All right, so here we are. This is a step back and taking a look at the entire shelf right here. It's actually consists of 3 separate shelves that are the same height that one has. It's a little different than the others, but anyway, so that's it right there. We did that one last time. Forgot to mention those 4 panels I have right there. Those are just stuff that I got from a local artist here who does like this cool pop art style things for like Marvel and DC characters. So I bought a whole bunch, so pretty cool. Anyway, let's start off at the top of the shelf. These are my Zombicide games. I do like playing board games, and I like Zombicide. It's my favorite board game of all time. And I have, yeah, Zombicide and the Toxic City Mall add-on, which is very cool. Anyway, here we have the Overwatch collection that Hasbro put out last year, and they canceled it, which sucks. But, you know, I wasn't collecting these until I started seeing them on clearance. Saw this guy on clearance, and I bought it for relatively cheap, Reinhardt. And then when I started seeing, you know, all of these guys not being sold, because I guess they were not, they were just not popular, especially out here in Thailand where I live. Yeah, they were being sold on clearance, so I just couldn't resist, because these guys are amazing. They're, I'd say, like, I will say that, like, this Zarya figure right here is one of my favorites, if not my favorite figure from Overwatch. Like, Hasbro did a really good job with this line. It's sad that it got canceled, but like, I'll be honest, a lot of these are even better than the Marvel Legends figures that they put out. So that's cool. This is a popcorn bucket of Deadpool's head. Not sure if I'm gonna get that Deadpool, that talking Deadpool that they just released, or that they just put out. Not sure if I'm gonna get that. Anyway, what you saw in there are my Copic markers for when I like, you know, color. This is the Disney exclusive Thanos. And then that's just a whole bunch of like stuff that I need for when I go out. Anyway, so there's that. Let's go start off with this corner right here. Or, oh, I'm gonna have a seat. And there you go. So these are pretty much the only DC figures that I have out, and it's just the Superman and Batman from the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns story. Just a bunch of books. And this right here, my drawing tutorials. I do keep all of my original drawings, and they're all in these binders here. And mixed in are some of my cards. I am a big collector of trading cards. Let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to go through the trading cards. I did go through this one on this channel before, but if you guys want to see the other ones, let me know in the comment section. Yeah, so trading cards, love trading cards. These are some Fortnite figures that I have, plus one non-Fortnite figure right there. I do apologize again for the lack of focus. My camera has a hard time trying to find faces. There you go. So that's Player Underground I can't breathe right now. Okay, so yeah, PUBG figure over there, and then you have Mcfarlane Fortnite Figures, which, you know, I got into Mcfarlane Fortnite first before I got into the Jazzware stuff, but then Jazzwares won me over. I stopped collecting Mcfarlane and I just started collecting Jazzwares. So those are some Fortnite figures that I have. Down here you have, one of them kind of fell over. You have two Shang-Chi figures, because right now Shang-Chi is like my favorite action figure that Hasbro has put out. Just love this figure so much. So I got two of them. One of them's wearing clothes. Mixed in with a bunch of ninjas from Articulated Icons. So I don't know if you guys can see the Articulated Icons ninjas there. Mixed in with some Mezco Mortal Kombat X figures, which was also a line that was discontinued, which makes me really sad. But yeah, I have pretty much all of the Mortal Kombat. I think I'm only missing like 3 variants of the Mortal Kombat X figures before they got canceled. Yeah, so I hope you guys can see. This one glows in the dark, which is really cool. Down here are some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. These are from Playmates. I didn't get any of the other ones made by other companies like NECA, because I'm pretty content with these. Like I grew up with Ninja Turtles, but I have like 4 sets of Ninja Turtles figures, and these guys are just, you know, I'm pretty happy with them. So I feel like there's no need really to buy some new ones. Yeah, so going over here, these are all Marvel now, right there. So these are like the only, this side is like non-Marvel stuff, and then that side is all Marvel. So let's go over here and let's take a look at my Spider-Man figures. I'm not going to name all of them, but do take a look. I do have a couple of customs in there. That's a custom Ghost Spider over there with the flame, the white, bluish white flame sticking out. I made that one myself. I do customize here and there. This right here, that Fantastic Four Spider-Man right there is also a custom. There you go. And trying to see if there's any other customs right there. Not really. I do have 2 of those, the big time Spider-Man, and I am going to paint it, you know, light blue or maybe orange when I get the chance. Yeah, so these are pretty neat. Definitely growing. Gonna go down, and now we have Punisher, and a lot of these are also custom, and I swapped the heads and everything. Like this right here, this is the custom that I made. This is a Mezco shirt on a like what do you call it, 80th anniversary Punisher with a Return to Marvel Legends head, like that for example, and then like I colored the pants. This is more his Thunderbolts look right there, which I like. And then there's this one where I gave him some flesh colored arms, so it looks like he's wearing short sleeve shirt, and I also gave him that red bandana there, and of course that's the Mezco. Over there in the back, that's actually a Mandroid Punisher figure, or a Mandroid figure that I put a Mezco head and I painted like the Punisher skull on it. Pretty proud of that one. I did that one. It's like one of the first customs that I actually completed. Yeah, and then you got some Jigsaw in there as well. Wish they would redo Jigsaw. The only Punisher that's not here is the Jon Bernthal Punisher, which I mentioned was up there with my MCU shelf. I don't know if you guys can see him right by Daredevil, right above Doctor Strange there. Anyway, Jon Bernthal Punisher. I think the best Punisher actor. You guys might notice that there are lights. I haven't put the batteries on. I'm gonna have tons of these lights, and it got expensive to replace the batteries because each light takes like 3 AAA batteries, and it's it got expensive. So at a certain point, I kind of stopped refilling it because it was getting costly. Okay, going down. Here we have a couple of Hulk figures. This is not all of them. I have another Hulk display in my detolf actually. Okay, so here, pretty much standard stuff. That Abomination in the back there, that's the SDCC exclusive from the Wrapped. This guy right here, the Hulk, the End, it's one of my favorite figures from early Hasbro. Actually, I think it is my favorite figure from the dark days of Hasbro. And this right here, that is the Red Leader from the Thunderbolts, actually from the Marvel Avengers Alliance game. I actually just finished customizing that yesterday. That's just a repaint of this leader. Obviously painted him red, painted his gloves and his hands black, and his straps gray. So that's that. And this right here is really good for its time, but it was retired to the new Hulk figures. So these are some of my older figures, Hulk figures, right there. All right, now let's go back up and let's go to this shelf right here. This shelf is my, I guess you could call my Symbiote Shelf. And it's just a whole bunch of like characters with a symbiote. You have Agent Venom. This is a custom Agent Venom that I made. Custom as in I just repainted the decals from white to red. You have Carnage. You have Lasher and Venom and what's her name? Shriek and Toxin. And you have Space Venom in the back and Anti-Venom. That right there, that's the red, that's the Goblin, Red Goblin. Yeah, and then you have a bunch of other Venom characters. You have this one right here, that's the Venomized Punisher. Right. Poison right there, by the way. That's the guy in the white in the center there. Toxin in front of him, and then you have Pork Chop right there, the one that looks like a pig. It's pretty cool. Not complete. There's still a couple of Venom characters that I'm missing. Going down one, these are Spider-Man villains. I did take off the tentacles on Doc Ock just so he'll fit. I also took off the wings on Vulture right here so that he'll fit in there nicely with a whole bunch of these guys. They're not all villains. Like Silver Sable is not a villain, although she did fight Spider-Man. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Some classics right there. And here you have some more. Oh, it's getting dark. Some more Spider-Man villains right here. I wouldn't call Superior Octopus a villain per se, but I've got him here. You got like a tiny little juggernaut right there. You have a Prowler and Paladin, not necessarily a Spider-Man villain, just had to find a place for him. That right there is actually Chameleon. I haven't really painted him, but I wanted to do a Chameleon in the animated series costume. But so I did, I think the closest buck to that animated series costume is Darkhawk. So I got the Darkhawk, I got the Chameleon head, and I haven't painted it yet. So I'm leaving him in the back there. And then you got J. Jonah Jameson here. He deserves to get webbed, so I webbed him. There you go. I do apologize for the, what do you call it again? The autofocus is just, it's not very good with this camera. I'm trying to get a nice camera for this, but it's just not working. Anyway, you got some Avengers over here. So these two right here are what you call, I guess, my Avengers Shelf. Just a mishmash of a bunch of Avengers right there. You got the Carol Danvers from the Marvel Unlimited, that's the Marvel Unlimited figure right there. I did put Spider-Man there. I have two of this figure right here. So one's over there if this camera can focus. And then I got a second one over here. Of course, it belongs to this, with the Avengers as well. Yeah, you got Marvel. You got a custom crystal right there. I used a Hellcat body, and that's the Jean Grey head that nobody likes, because we have a whole bunch of other Jean Grey heads. So I just took that Jean Grey head and turned it into crystal. I painted the pattern in her hair. If you guys see in the back there, you got silver Luke Cage. That is actually a repainted yellow Luke Cage. Those silver Luke Cage figures are rare, and I think there's only like 7 to 10 of them in existence, and they are expensive. I can't afford them, so I just repainted an extra yellow Luke Cage. Yeah, a couple of Toy Biz in there. So I do mix my Toy Biz figures with my Hasbro figures. I'm not ashamed of doing that. But my collection is mostly Hasbro now, because they've been kind of knocking it out of the park. So they have replaced most of the figures. Not that blue Goliath though. That one is like super old. Putting him in the back. From here, let's go over here now. And this is my other Avengers shelf. There you go. And then if you guys remember from my last video, I do have an MCU version of this Tony Stark suiting up. I have him up there actually. So that's Robert Downey Jr. And then down here you got comic Tony Stark suiting up as well. I used a Havoc body, and I just add an extra one of these modern armor Iron Man. I forgot what the mark was. Yeah, so I just took it apart, and I just replaced the legs, replaced the hand here, replaced the arm. There you go. So anyway, you got Falcon Cap, you got Winter Soldier, and then you got Rage, and then a whole bunch of other Avengers there. I also have Bucky Cap right there. Doc Samson. No one really talks about Doc Samson, do they? Yeah, there you go. You got Lady Thor there behind Iron Fist. An eclectic mix. They're so squished in there, it's hard to see all of them. So zooming out, let's zoom into the villains now. These are some villains. These are the Hydra and AIM. This guy right here, this is a custom Crossbones that I did. If you guys remember, the Crossbones body was on the Crossbones was on the Hyperion body mold, and I'm not a fan of that. So I replaced it with Hercules. So this is the Hercules body mold. The problem is I still haven't figured out a way to give him the holsters and the belt. Hydra Cap, Arnzola, and then a bunch of my army builders right there. I do have the older Crossbones figures in the back over there. And then I also have a custom Red Skull. I actually used a Paladin body, the Red Skull figures coat and arms. Yeah, and I repainted that Paladin body so that he can have better articulation, because I'm not a fan of that whole body. Okay, some more villains-ish. Villains-ish. And also Thunderbolts. That's why you see Luke Cage's right there. So not necessarily all villains. You got Skrulls in there as well. That Crimson Dynamo is not a villain. You guys can see him as right beside Ultron there, but hard to see because he is dark. Yeah, pretty cool. That living laser figure is one of my favorite figures nobody talks about. Just love that figure. Okay, so you got those. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Ultron in the back. I'm still waiting for Hasbro to to release a regular looking Ultron like that Diamond Select one. But they haven't yet. They've been giving us like, I mean, it's Ultron, but it's not the classic Ultron, you know what I mean? So there's that one, and then there's that one, and then there's the dog-faced Ultron, which I don't have here because I have about a quarter of my collection in Canada, where I used to live and where I started collecting. Anyway, yeah, so coming out here in Thailand, it's just a pain in the butt to have to bring my entire collection from country to country, so I was forced to leave a chunk of my collection at home. Anyway, this is like Fantastic Four stuff. I got modern Doctor Doom, and then I have a classic Doctor Doom. I had to get two of that figure because it's so awesome. I had to get two of these Build-A-Figure Skrulls. And then I have multiples of Human Torch there. There's like different versions of the same body. So you got the, they call this, that's the Supernova. You got that weird one from the Ronin, I believe, Ronin Wave, and then you got that, this one from the 2-pack, and then that one, Flame On version. That thing over there is my favorite thing before this new one came out. And then if you guys can see in the back there, I have, what do you call it? That's the Flaming Super Skrull, and then you got the Super Skrull from the 2-pack. Love those. Silver Surfer there doesn't have his board because no room for it. Yeah, so Black Panther, Namor, Mole Man in the front, another Skrull in the front. Just a bunch of Fantastic Four related characters. And then right here you have Cosmic, and it's kind of dark in there. I do apologize. It is getting dark. I'm recording this at a very, very dark time. And you got the Destroyer there. You got the Build-A-Figure Annihilus without the wings because it just doesn't fit. Got another Build-A-Figure there, another Build-A-Figure over there. Boar and Ulik from the Asgard box set. You got Thanos in the back there. I'm trying to remember what this guy's name is. It's not Calibac. It's Blastar. That's it. You got another Destroyer over there, and you got another Build-A-Figure over here. So a lot of these guys are kind of rare nowadays, or they're pretty expensive in the secondary market because of how inaccessible they are and how rare they are, and the fact that they're Build-A-Figures. So glad to have them. I actually have two of this guy. I have like the pink one, and I have a more purpley version. This is the pink one right here. In Canada, I do have the pink one with purple highlights. So yeah, anyway, zooming out, and then me physically getting up because I actually sat down for this, and then my camera focusing. Here we go. So there is that shelf right there. I don't know what to call it really. It's not like an Avengers shelf. It's like Marvel Universe shelf, I guess we'll call it. So there you have it, you guys. That is part 2 of my collection video. Next collection video, I'm going to tackle this wall right here, which has my X-Men and some Avengers and Fantastic Four. I'll let you guys know later on. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel if you guys want to see more stuff like this. And yeah, if you guys want to learn how to draw these guys right here, make sure you guys subscribe to my main channel. And I think that's it. Anyway, I'm in the process of like taking these and putting them in boxes, so it's going to be a huge undertaking for me. But thanks you guys for tuning in. I will catch you in the next collection video. Take care.